June 3rd, 2022. I'm actually gonna. This is actually a re recording. I recorded this the first time, uploaded to YouTube, and I realized I recorded the wrong screen. It's a recap of 2 days, yesterday and today. I didn't do a recap for yesterday. I'll start off with yesterday and talk through. Um, in fact, it's actually interesting. Whenever I listen to my recaps or I listen to comments, I realize that I record the recaps mainly for myself, but I'm now learning that people actually are interested in learning from it. So I think what I will do is try to put a bit more emphasis or explanations behind some of the ideas. So if you have any suggestions, whoever's watching this, on how I can make this better, that can help anyone, please share with me. All right, so yesterday we had a nice bull rally, and the reason why I was expecting that is also because of the previous days. We've had a very strong bull trend, broken out of the training range, and we have a little training range again, and maybe we might get another nice breakout above it. We'll see what happens. Um, all right, so just get this out of the way. All right, so yesterday we had a bull. Well, we've been making we constructed a bull flag. Essentially, we had. I mean, over here it's not actually yet, but we in the Globex you have a day. I think it was Monday. We came down strongly, pulled back, came down again. So this is a high one by a high two, right? So basically, two attempts to reverse the bear leg, and this third attempt is technically a high three, but I'll say a high two because it's a double bottom, and we have a nice bull run here. However, it hasn't taken out the high in the Globex, and we now have found that we had a nice gap down here and this trading range. All right, so we'll talk about this day. So I've drawn this trend line to just kind of indicate that it's a blue bull flag, and the channel kind of goes from here to here. Um, I actually mentioned to a few people when this happened, I said it's possible that we could come down and rally strongly today. And it's weird because when I actually started trading this day, I took a few very stupid trades. I went short on the first bar, and that was, first of all, formal. It wasn't a setup, there wasn't a reason to go short, there was no reason to take any trades. As you can see, there are lots of wicks here, so that tells you it's a limit order market, and the traders here are just scalping. They're just basically buying the lows and taking profits as it gets higher. Um, the reason for that obviously is the open, high probability that we're forming a wedge bottom. If you think about it, we have a nice drop here, a pullback, then a wedge forming your breakout pullback, and then three legs down. So generally gets, I think with that kind of volume, if you notice at the open, we tend to get a lot of wicks. All right, so I didn't wait for that to happen, and I was taking stupid trades, lost money in the process. Didn't want it to go out because for some reason I thought we were just gonna we're gonna start a bear trend from the open, gap down, and sell the close. Just a stupid trade, and I think some of that had to do with the fact that I was exhausted and not really um, trading setups. And it's important that, at least for me, the way I like to trade, I want to trade a setup. And for me, looking at this now, um, there is a setup over here. You can see three legs down, three attempts to reverse, and each one of them has failed and has yielded this really beautiful signal bar. Now, something about double bottoms and wedge bottoms, something I heard from Al Brooks the other day, where he said one of the best setups ever is where you have a double bottom and the second leg is a wedge bottom. Here we have a double bottom, second leg is a wedge bottom. Beautiful high probability buy. As you can see, that's what's happened. Something I'm actually going to keep in mind for further trades, double bottom, wedge bottoms type thing. All right, so we had that beautiful signal bar. We could have just taken this long all day. In my own, what ended up doing was I missed this part of the trade. I think I was angry with the way I traded over here. I took a walk for a bit. I think my computer froze, so I missed this, and this actually failed, came down, and then caused this here. I actually got back and took a long above 18. I wanted to get out above 20, above 19, but I think when I looked at the range size as I measured the range, I realized that we had only traveled at this point, yeah, 37 points. So I just thought, that's not a really strong range. Probably this should be the high. And I was expecting a range day only because of our open. All right, so now we had a wedge bottom below the moving average. This is actually a good recipe for a bull trend, but I just did not even think of it from that perspective. Again, because I was not focused. So sometimes when you have a big gap down, you can have four different situations, or at least you can expect four different outcomes. Let me actually um, pull up a chart. I think I've shown one before, but I don't mind showing it again. It's in my Discord. Well, not my Discord, but our Discord. Oh no, it's not there. I thought I had it there. Hang on. Content sharing. Somewhere. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. So there are four different outcomes you can have whenever. In fact, okay, so first of all, you got to remember there are three types of opens. You have a trading range open like this, you have a reversal open, or you have a trend open, right? Like this. And it's funny, all 3 days I've had all three. So if you look at any day, you have one of these three. So price will either go in one direction and then race in the opposite direction, or price would go up and down till it makes a decision and then goes in that direction, or you just go in one direction from the open. So if you know that you have one of these three, you just basically wait till price confirms what it wants to do. And here we had not a trading, but a reversal, a nice wedge bottom, and this was a beautiful entry for a trend trade for the whole day. The fact that we had a double bottom, nice low of day being a very high probability buy area, just did not even think of it from that perspective. Anyway, had this bull surprise breakout. Over here, I actually started taking shorts because I thought this would be the high. I thought this would be a trading range, so spike, pullback, trading range, but it just didn't really work out. We had a wedge bottom, failed breakout of the moving average, and look, we had a nice bull surprise again. And that makes sense when you look at the number of bull bars that you have running from this point. Only fair that you're going to get a second leg. So I don't know why I would want to short here, especially as I'm seeing all these tails. This is not exactly a strong second leg. I thought this was a second leg trap, but there isn't a second leg here. Is this the first leg? Not really. This is actually a second leg of this. So this is the first leg. It's not really a strong second leg. I was clearly not reading the price properly at this point. So I left it. Anyway, started trading here and then got some buys and then ended up getting out here, shorted and longed in this area because it's a trading range after this wedge top. You can see it has a few tests, testing this range here, testing this gap, testing the Globex high over here. Actually, it was this is today. We had a Globex level over here actually. And then anyway, this breakout, I think this is where things got confusing for me. And I always struggle with this part. Whenever we go into this and then this breakout, I'm sometimes never really sure how to trade it. Got into another wedge, nice trap, and then bulls obviously bought this first pullback, and then we had this. I wasn't expecting this explosion up here because, sometimes we don't, sometimes we get this, and this is what I'm expecting. But I mean, obviously we've had it before. And that was that day. Took some good trades there, but what was so silly is I just was impatient. On a bull trend day, you should never trade against the trend. Always buy on the moving average, especially when the price is above the moving average. Just keep buying retracements to the moving average, double-legged pullbacks to the moving average. And yeah, keep your stop below the last swing low if you can. Because bulls are looking for discounts, so every time it pulls back they're going to buy. So anyway, next it was a trading range day. What helped was I was using a tick chart, and if I just pull up my tick chart here, so the prior day I actually put in Discord that we would have actually what it was I saw this chart here. This is actually last night's session, the overnight session, and I saw we were already selling off really strongly. Like this was what we did, and then in the morning when I woke up and when I looked at the chart, I was like, oh my god, we've sold off so strongly. This is a breakout similar to this breakout. We're most likely going to get a bear trend or a trading range. And then when we pulled back, I was like, okay, we're probably going to have a trading range. We already pulled back once before the open, pulled back twice here, and then I think this is where we opened over here. around here, and we're already testing certain levels, and we go into a trading range. Right, so what did I do? um, the open today was actually okay in terms of how I traded it. um, so notice the first bull bar. I remember saying to everyone, we have a massive strong bull bar off the open, right? But I have a feeling that bar is going to be completely erased. Now, why is that? And I remember saying this specifically. I was so proud of myself. I was like, this bull bar really strong, has gone so many points. I don't think this is a trend day. I think we're going to erase everything here, and it's probably going to break the lows. And that's exactly what happened. Now, why was I so confident about that? It was just because of this breakout. This was, I think this was our open. No, this is, where was it now? This was our open, this move here. And it just seemed like, we've sold off so strongly. This is a pullback. 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's a wedge, but if it's a wedge, we're probably coming back down. And this isn't going to be a trend up. It wasn't too strong enough for a reversal. Definitely a nice double top over here. It just didn't seem like, not didn't seem, it was just not the way it was setting out to be. Especially when you're in a bear trend pulling back, this looked like a pullback below the moving average. It was very obvious we're going to come down, at least to me. So he came down, made a low here, and 2 bear bars, 1 big. This went below, it was sell to close. I took a short here. I don't know why I did, but I did. I assumed, again, this is just me not really focusing. Now I think about it, obviously in hindsight, things are clearer, but we already had a pullback and another one over here. So I don't know why I would think that price is going to race all the way down again. That we're going to have basically this. We've had 2 pullbacks already, and we're having a third. So the chances of a big, massive breakout are very, very slim. It'd be different if we just had a small pullback like this, bear trend, small pullback, bear trend, but we have deep pullbacks already. So this short that I took was a low probability short. Anyway, I initially had my stop up here, took a short below this bar. Then I saw this bar. Then I said, if this bar closes as a bull bar, that's not good for me. As a bear, not good. And someone asked why, because I said this is a double bottom. This is a signal bar for bulls. They've attempted to go long here, and this is how far they went. They're going to do it again with a lower price. If we go above this price, I should get out. So I moved my stop from here to here, and of course I got stopped out. I then got into longs. Anyway, I had a small position. I then got into longs with a bigger position. I bought 2 minis, took it all the way there. I was targeting the highs here because I just felt like, okay, if this is a double bottom, bulls are probably trying to reverse the trend. Again, low probability, just based on how the Globex was trading. I looked on the Globex. This was probably the best we get is a double top. At least a double top, pull back, and then another leg up. So we had a trading range open, obviously. We had a double bottom here, lower, low. Went higher, took my trade, and it was actually really good. Got to the top, had 1 more contract in, took out 1 contract at the top, and I should have just taken it out, but I was so stubborn. It came down all the way here, and I lost all my gains. I was very annoyed. My emotions got to me, and I had given money back. So that now made me very upset. The price went back up here. I then now went long again. And this is similar to what I did here, where I was just trading rubbish. I just went long out of emotions. There was no setup. And at that point I said, oh shoot, I went long at the top of a trading range. That's a bad play. And we're still below the moving average. We're in a bear trend, possibly. Nice big gap down, double bottom towards the MA. Not a good trade. I need to get out. And I was trapped. I saw we started creating wicks. Saw this double bottom here. I bought this low. This came back up, and I got out for break even. Then, I don't know, I did it again. I bought the stop. I don't know why I did. Out of FOMO. I thought this was, again, first leg, pullback. We're having a head and shoulders. I thought this was going higher, and I just bought here. No signals, nothing. We went down 1 more time, had a wedge bottom. Bought this wedge bottom, went all the way up, halfway, got out for break even. I was like, okay, great. Then I saw we had a wedge bottom here. I assumed we would probably go higher, but then if you look at it, we now broke below the wedge. This could also be seen as exhaustion because this could be the wedge 1, 2, 3, but obviously we went lower. So when you now look at it now, 2-3 wedge top, wedge bottom, it's a credible buy for the bulls. They could have taken this long. I just felt like we had a double bottom. We already started going down. We're in a strong bear trend, really big breakout. This is the second leg forming. I don't see why this would go up. But then again, it probably could. You know, we've had this and we've had this as well. But for some weird reason, I thought this is probably going to come down, you know. And of course it did. We had a bear bar, bad follow through for the bulls. This is a credible sell, a low 2 sell. Oh, sorry, a low 1 sell. And as you can see, that was a failed breakout of the moving average. So far from moving average, we went lower. This trend line I put in later. And we just kept on breaking out. At this point, we now have a spike, one pullback, second pullback, third, final flag. This is a credible buy. I didn't take this buy. We had 3 bull bars after it. And I thought, okay, this is great, but we could not break the moving average. At this point, I thought, okay, this is interesting. We may probably go lower even further. Maybe we're going to go for the third leg down. One leg, second leg, maybe a third. That obviously didn't happen. We had 3 bear bars, but I remember saying to my colleague who was really interested in shorting this that we have 3 bull bars. We're probably going to get a second leg. That's exactly what happened. But then we now had another set, you know, 3 bear bars. We're probably going to get the second leg of that too. Same thing. But then what you now notice is that we're not actually breaking the MA. We're still below, and the bulls have had an opportunity to reverse this entire thing over here, and they've not. So I thought, okay, if we make another high here, that will be a wedge top. We should go below it. This did not exactly go above this, at least not on this chart. So I didn't take this as a wedge, even though I did short it. I shorted here actually. This is the head and shoulders. So I thought, okay, this would be a nice training range short, probably breakout. So I took it short over here, came down and went all the way back up, went sideways above MA. I noticed the MA was holding it and it broke out above. I thought, okay, maybe this is not the wedge. Maybe this is the wedge. This move is the third leg up. And then this bar would have triggered me in. But then it went above even higher. This is where my stop was and I got stopped out. At this point, I then now realized that actually this is the wedge and this is where it failed. And this is where price just went up. And as a result, this is a measured move from here to here to here for that. All right, so what ended up happening, we now had a wedge top. Took this short down here. Got out around here because I assumed this was another attempt to go reverse. So one attempt, second attempt, third attempt. So this is a wedge. But actually we had this low here. So this is a double bottom. This actually is a wedge because it's in the same here. And I wish I had held all the way down here. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Got out just here. And then obviously we see this lovely rise. And at this point, you can tell we have a lower low, a lower high, higher low. We're forming a triangle, which usually is a breakout setup. Well, obviously, it didn't go too far because, again, it's a range day. Range days, the best way you trade them is buying the bottom third, selling the top third. Do not take trades in the middle. And bet against reversals because you're not going to get a breakout on range days. And you have lots of reversals throughout the entire chart. Anything that looks bearish is always a trap, always reverses. Anything that looks very bullish is the same thing. Another trap, always reverses. All right, I think that's basically it. That was the whole day. Obviously, you can see the measured moves. We had this range over here. We broke through the bottom of this range, and that brought us down to this measured move, which is exactly the same as this particular measured move. And then there's obviously to that. I put this in here because I realized that there are bulls who are trapped here. And the first thing they're going to do is buy this bar, this bull bar. They're going to buy above it. This is the halfway point. And you can see that's where they had their exits just on this level. All right, that's literally it. As I said, if you have any comments about anything, feel free to ask me. And I will try my best in future not to record the other screen again. Alrighty, let me just make sure I did record. I did. Ooh, I was actually worried about that. Yeah, okay, I did record it. All right. Yeah, have a great weekend, guys. Oh, sorry, the other thing again is this low. Yeah, I put the daily MA here only because I realized that this low has been holding this level for quite a few days. This here. So we broke the MA, tested it here, tested it, and we're testing it again. And it's very hard to break a very strong moving average like that. All right. That's the final bit of the recording.